Oh, goodness. Well, good morning to all you lovely people on the internet. This is fabulous. All right, it is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mute that. We're muted. Meeting is now streamed to multiple services. Okay, well, this is the first time. We are learning as we go. And good morning to good morning and top of the coffee, or perhaps bottom of the coffee, to all of you amazing creatures out there in the world. Okay. Romantic Renaissance with Natalina Love. It is Tuesday. So, yesterday, just briefly, I'm opening up this series. This week, we can talk about the weekly grind. What is this, and how can you have your own romantic renaissance the with the whole, just the little things in the week that maybe either you think about and then they just wash over you and they're gone, or like, for example, Mondays. How often do you think of the moon? The moon, often standing for the goddess, a mother goddess, the Western astrological sign of Cancer. Um, you tell me. Now Tuesdays, I wouldn't say is nearly so much of an amped up day as Mondays are. I'm looking for my shoes and all the cameras as well. So, and for all of you out there, I'm going to turn on some of my other lights. In the mornings here, I've got so much natural light coming in that this camera just completely washes out my face. So I can show you what the other camera looks like. There it is. There it is. Some of this is absolutely in setting up your camera and making sure that your light is right. And actually, this kind of doesn't look bad on the screen. It's I've been using this other one that completely has me all washed out in the evenings, because it does somehow happen to pick up so much light. So how about this? I may just use this camera while we're together today, this morning. Yeah. Let's do that. You know what? Since I'm on Zoom, let's see here. Touch up my appearance. But let's talk about Tuesday. So Tuesday is Mars Day. I'm gonna make sure that I look at the right camera. Tuesday is Mars Day. Now, Mars is considered often enough to be the god of war. So, are you at war? Do you feel like you're going to war on Tuesday? I feel like Tuesdays aren't nearly so um they're not nearly so at war. You know what I mean? Ooh. You might be able to see me putting on filters. I love that nowadays you can have really, really big eyebrows, and mm, I love that. Change the opacity. I'm gonna go with the darker lip color. Just medium amount. Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. And I want to turn on this other light here, just in case it might actually, it might do something. And if you're also trying to learn as much as you can about streaming and all the good stuff, then maybe this will be interesting to you. Oh, two different earrings. Let's see here. something just visually fun here. I got my ladybug. Let's do ladybugs. Let's do ladybugs. So it is. We're almost at the. Well, we are at the tail end of October. Diwali was started yesterday, and while I've never celebrated Diwali, I have been, in some ways, invited into the whole holiday experience through and create in other creative ways. So let's talk about Tuesday stuff. Shut that down. And do some creative stuff. Let me share my screen and okay. I'm gonna open Canva and we could chat about romance on Tuesdays. Romance on Tuesdays. And you know what? I think, let me try to put up the restream. Is Tuesday a day of war? And if it is a day of war, what are you worrying about? What are you worrying about? What's your war? Is it, and this may be more fanciful life coaching stuff, but like in the mornings when you're getting ready, whatever that looks like for you, putting on your makeup, brushing your hair, getting out of the shower, brushing your teeth, fixing your amazing eyebrows, getting all coiffed up. Is it a war for you? And yes. I'm gonna be just fixing my stuff here. Learn as we go. Is it a war? Is it a war for you as you're looking into the mirror? Or are you just running on autopilot, perhaps? That's, I would say that's kind of a warrior sort of thing. I'm on restream.io. I just want to see if anything's happening here. I don't know. Start with studio. Stream professionally from your browser. Okay. You know what? I don't know that this is actually doing it from this. I don't know if it's actually doing it from there, but oh well. Yes, learn as we go. That's my Tuesday mantra today. That's a Tuesday mantra today. And you know what? I may just record here real quick. Happy Tuesday. Just starting over. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Now, what is Tuesday like for you? Tuesday is, or Mars Day, is named for the god of war, or I suppose, I don't know. What else is Mars known for? Could look that up. I could share my screen and we could take a look at that. Oh dear. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. I'll open a new document. Open a new document. All, okay. Presentation. Ooh, whiteboard. Okay. Well, let's try the whiteboard and see what that does. Now, if I share my screen, then you can see my screen, and I think you can still see me. I'm gonna move this over here. Okay. Is this more exciting? Happy Tuesday. As the warrior that you are, what does the battlefield look like? Maybe it's your maybe it's your desktop home screen. Maybe it's what does it look like for you? What's in front of you? And by calling it a battlefield, does that change your experience? Does it change it for the better or for worse? Oops. Okay. All right. So, let's do this. Creating your romantic renaissance. Did I spell that right? I think I might have. And we'll put it in some kind of lovely font. What you can do here is you're actually able to choose the type. I put elegant. Yeah, that's nice. Creating your romantic renaissance, and we'll make it pink. Can make it pink. Tuesdays. Tuesday. Tuesday. What is your romantic renaissance look like on a Tuesday? What does life look like for you on a Tuesday? What's the first thing you do in the morning? What does that routine, how does that routine unfold? What bumps you around in the whole cosmic flow of your day? You know what? If I look up, if I do that from my phone, Tuesday, myths and legends about Tuesdays. Let's see what comes up. What's there you have for us? We could do Apple Music, a podcast, books, SoundCloud, Spotify, or you. Oh, geez. I'm learning to choose the right audio apps for you. No, I don't think any of those are going to work. No. Okay, so I'm going to pull up Internet Explorer. Or I suppose Safari. Excuse me, I am an Apple girl. So, myths and legends about Tuesday. Tuesday is named for a one-handed god named Tew. That's from dictionary.com. Yes, it's true. There's a wild story behind the god who lends his name to Tuesday. Tew, also sometimes spelled T-I-W or T-I-U. Okay. What else? Ty's dagger. Mars is a god of war and also is the Nordic god Tyr or Tyr. Tyrtir. And it is Tyr who has given his name to Tuesday. In Norse mythology, Tyr is one of the Aesir. He was primarily known as the god of justice and war, but is also described to be wise and brave. So, okay, maybe this is an interesting creative prompt for you. What's your god of war look like? If you imagine your god of war. Oops. What does he look like? What does he look like? Is this too much pink? This may be way too much pink. How's that? Okay, so imagine your god of war, and what does he look like? How, in a fanciful way, what would it be like if you if you let yourself connect with this piece of your fancifulness. Something that I found quite interesting is that kind of want to move this over so I can interact if need be. There we go. Much better. Much better. I can see both of these screens. We were talking yesterday and I brought up dream stuff, dream world, creating your dreams and finding your own life philosophy, and how this is so radical because if we are, I'm going to take this camera down, otherwise I keep looking at the camera instead of this one, and that's a different experience too. So if you cultivate a practice of intentionality, you can create whatever you want. And we were talking about this specifically for law of attraction studies and how to change your life for the better. And generally this desire doesn't come up until we are in the throes of complaints and just bad, I hate to use the word bad, but our experience is not enjoyable. The coffee isn't hot enough. The weather isn't warm enough, or just the things aren't right. So intentionally, if you knew that you had the power to intentionally create, what would you create? And this isn't an invitation to give up on, just play with the fancifulness here. Just for a little while. Play with the fancifulness. Because if you're wanting something, like if I can't have this ginormous creation, this multifaceted super creation, then do I want it? And I want to say yes. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's just asking us for a little more focus, a little more of our conscious focus. So we were talking about Alan Watts, and something that he said that was very inspirational to me was, let's say that you can dream whatever dream that you want. You can dream whatever dream that you want, and you can dream an entire lifetime. You can perhaps, and I take this perhaps a little farther with, what if you could dream even generationally, where maybe you pass away and then you're born again, and that whole experience you've dreamed up. Eventually, Alan Watts says that you will eventually dream yourself as the life that you are in now. You'll dream the exact same life that you're in now. And I'm like, wow, this really struck me. And so maybe that will be interesting for you as well. That somewhere in the mega cosmos and the beautiful creativity and wonder of this existence, that possibility, that and even believable, you can even suspend some disbelief here, that this is what you dreamed up. This is exactly what you wanted. And I'm gonna dare to say here, I'm gonna add to this. What's the war? What's your war? What's your war? What's the war you fight on a day-to-day? You take yourself seriously as a warrior? Do you want to take yourself seriously as a warrior? Maybe you don't. What would it be like to take yourself seriously? Are you the general? Or do you go around as, yeah, what? I mean, give yourself a rank. Maybe that could be fun. I was going to tell you about my dream last night, but I'm not sure that my thoughts are clicking in together as nicely as I would like them to be. But all in all, to kick off the day right, and this whole series of your creating your romantic renaissance in a day-to-day fashion, we'll just go through all 7 days. Tuesday, what's your war? What are you fighting? Are you in a fight? Or are you allowing the day to unfold and be an ally to you? Are you letting the the god of war just fill you with inspiration and motivation for whatever you're doing? And I mean, in the work world, you don't typically hear about Tuesdays as being such an awful day. You really don't. There's the Monday blues, and we'll probably circle back around and talk more about Mondays later. But yeah, how is this for you? How is this for you? Who's your god of war? I think that may be all I really wanted to talk about today. Besides the whole dream thing, if you're consciously creating and how's this? How do you consciously how do you consciously create? How do you consciously create? Key word here is consciousness. Another way of awareness. What are you aware of? And we're not just talking external things like lighting and temperature, and we're also talking about your mood. How aware of you are your thoughts of your thoughts? How aware of you are all of the things that influence you? And there's many, 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 many things that influence us. Many, 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 many things. Like, for example, I'm going to talk about my dream last night. I've been really, really excited to share about this whole dream thing. So last night, after our stream last night, we're talking again, reprising the whole Alan Watts thing and the butterfly, the Chinese butterfly lover story. And is it the butterfly that's dreaming, or is it the man who dreams of being a butterfly? What's true, and all of this stuff. So last night in my dream, and I shared with you all that even though I'm so interested in like dream philosophy, dream symbology, the whole lucid dreaming, dream walking, this whole realm of in a creative way and as a deeper peek into my psyche. We're talking about this consciousness stuff, and in my dream last night, there was interesting people, interesting places, but at some point, there's this very fantastic place in this dream where it's kind of almost like if you ever played the Everything's Lava game as a child, it was kind of like this, but in a very different way. So just as a loose set point here. So I'm on this playground, and I'm standing on top of this small metal slide, and the atmosphere it's cloudy and it's dark and it's ominous. There's that dark romantic aura all in the sky, and I'm feeling okay. I'm not scared or anything like that, but there's some intense vibes. I am a Scorpio, and welcome to Scorpio season. And the relevant part here, there's all of the other characters and their trajectories and what's going on for them. But at the time that I stood on top of this slide, it was like this whole other presence showed up. It was like part of me felt like I knew it was going to be this flood, but that's not the important part that I want to share with you. Comes back to this whole conscious creation thing, and little thoughts can blossom into bigger, nods, bigger gestures to conscious creation. So I'm there in this dream, and I had one of my first moments where I'm standing there and I'm consciously, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I do recall it was a very conscious statement of, you know, I've got full autonomy here. Of course, I didn't wake, as far as I know, I didn't wake up out of the dream, but that was an interesting moment to have. Now, if you've ever had those consciousness moments in your dreams, and like to share more on this, these are the kinds of blogs and social media accounts that I follow on my own personal time, where I'm like, people talking about, oh, just techniques to use for their dreaming pleasure. I don't even know if pleasure is the right way to put it, but more conscious control over over what happens to them in their sleep. So I'm very, very curious about that. I'm looking at this stuff, and something that a lot of these people talk about, these people, like their whole uh, content creation strategy is all about how to lucid dream, all that good stuff. So one thing that they do is like look at your hands throughout the day and prompt yourself through the day with, am I dreaming? Am I awake? Like actually having that conscious experience, and that feedback with yourself, that affirmation of, where am I oriented in this world, where am I oriented in my psyche, where am I oriented with in my emotions, all of this stuff. It's very, very relevant, and tying this back to your Tuesday protocols and all of this of, how conscious are you? What is your war? Not that, man, I want this to be as inspirational as possible, not to go out and, oh, pick your battles, pick your wars. And yet, what's worth fighting for? What's worth fighting to develop the discipline for? What's worth showing up for? All of this, I mean, all of this could be considered your battle, your war, and I just think it might be fun to come up with your god of war. So I may try to do another live stream this evening to just kind of top and tail the day as we go through this romantic renaissance through the days. I'd love it if you join me, add your comments, and we'll just continue this grand conversation of life. Thanks for being here. Oh, let me stop my share. Thanks for being here. I'm hoping you're having as much fun as it is fun to learn about all of these pieces and such. So, have a great Tuesday.